Welcome back, guys. Greg Silverman here for CIOs and bow ties, and another Come Learn With Me session. This is an article that did quite well last week, and when we published it, curated it last week. So let's read through it and see if we can glean anything interesting. It has to do with EV, electric vehicle batteries, and specifically the metals that go into the various batteries, of which we know that nickel, lithium, graphite, to name a few, are quite important. I pulled up the Lithium ETF. So I believe these are Global X Lithium ETF. These are lithium stocks. Let's just see. Let's just take a look. We can see what's inside it. We will have a holding section. Just there we go. So this is what's in it. So Tesla's in it, right? Albemarle is one of the biggest lithium producers. And then we've got some Chinese stocks as well. So a quick read of this. You know, we again, very similar to the gold chart in certain respects. This was the COVID low down there. The market had rising pretty swiftly, and then really it's kind of broken that upward trend line if we had to extend it, and it seems to be in a downtrend for the time being. So the trend being your friend, this might not be one you want to get involved with. Not a recommendation, just my sheer observation here. But anyway, let's see what the article says. The battery shortage could derail the EV industry's lofty goals. The biggest hiccup starts at the very beginning. There aren't enough raw materials. The EV battery shortage is about more than pinching your finger in a car door. Let's just see when this was April 18th. So, okay, a little under a month ago. Oscar Ringe, CEO of EV startup Rivian, reporters on a tour of the company's Illinois plant last week that the recent semiconductor shortage hampering the auto industry is just a small appetite and to what we are about to feel on battery cells over the next 2 decades. And with EV manufacturers' lofty production goals, every part of the supply chain is struggling to keep up. The biggest hiccup starts at the very beginning. We're talking raw materials. 80% of the cost of a lithium-ion battery comes from raw materials, including lithium, cobalt was another one, right, and nickel. But as companies scramble to snag those supplies, prices have skyrocketed. The price of lithium alone has gone up over 480% in the last year, according to Benchmark Intelligence. Let's just point out one thing here. A 480% increase in lithium over the last year. So let's just go back to May of last year from here. So really, the 480% increase saw this ETF go from $60 to a high of what we got here, $90. So 50% increase in the ETF. So not a huge increase, commensurate increase. So a disconnect between the price of the metal versus the stocks. But of course we have, if you go back here, the ETF itself has gone up many-fold from 20 to, 5-fold over a longer period of time. Anyway, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said lithium batteries were so insane he might just get into mining himself. You and us both, buddy. And because lithium-ion batteries account for at least 30% of the cost of an EV, higher battery prices are translating to higher prices for consumers. Both Rivian and Tesla have hiked prices recently, saying expensive raw materials are partly to blame. And those materials are not made in the USA, which is exactly what we saw in the ETFs from Chinese companies. In 2020, the US imported over half of its supply of 46 minerals and all of its supply of 17, according to the US Geological Survey. One of the biggest suppliers is China, the world leader in lithium-ion battery manufacturing, which has a history of restricting trade for political reasons. That's enough to spook the White House, which considers the EV supply chain to be a national security issue. Last month, President Biden invoked the Defense Production Act, which gives the government access to $750 million to invest in domestic mining operations for critical raw materials needed by battery manufacturers. But it could take up to a decade to see new US mining projects or battery plants. Zoom out. President Biden's goal is for half of all new cars sold by 2030 to be electric. But given the shortage of materials, MasterChef contestants to 2 for single noodle, according to Rivian's Scaringe. 90% to 95% of the supply chain does not exist. Wow. Let's have a quick look at the stock of Rivian. Don't know the ticker offhand. let's see, type here, Rivian, RIVN. I like to do weekly charts because I'm not much of a trader. I'm more of an investor, so I like to see the longer term. Oh, or Rivian just listed in it. So, oh, that's it's just listed. It's not a pretty picture, is it? So some of the hype coming out of the growth stocks. Can't see where its ultimate high was, but 120 bucks down to 30 is a bit of a pushing drop. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Give you a bit more insight into our EV program. Take a look at the links below. We have a battery metal LinkedIn group that we started, and of course we have our for accredited investor only some investments that we partake in on the battery metal side. So to see that, go to some of the links below, Ritterband Invest. You'll have to register to see the investments, but that's where we feature those. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Subscribe and like. Greg Silverman out for now.